So in this lecture, let's go ahead and start designing the single insta activity. So I'm going to go to the XML code right away, and here that's going to be a simple linear layout. And let's set the orientation of this thing to, let's say, vertical. And let's keep on adding a few things. The first one is going to be an image view, not the image button. So that's going to be image view with a match parent, and let's see, the height is going to be 200 dp, and the ID is going to be, let's say, @+id single image view. And we are going to add in the text view for the title and description as well. So the first text view is going to be for title, so that's going to be let's say match parent, and this is going to be wrap content. And let's say the ID for this is going to be, let's say, single, and the final text view is going to be for the description, so that's going to be match parent wrap content. And let's set the ID for this as well, so that's going to be single, let's say, description. So once we have these three things set up, we are basically good to go. Now let's go ahead and design the Java code for it. So in order to set up the Java code, let's go to single insta activities Java file, and here the first thing which you need to do is that you need to retrieve the key which we have passed over here. So as you could see, we have passed in the post key in the name of post ID, and let's say this is capitals over here. And now let's move on to this activity and get the same code and get the same key. So that's going to be string, let's say, post underscore key equals, that is going to be get intent dot get extras, and then again get the string. So that's going to be get string, and we want a string which is having the name as post ID. So this is going to get our string, and once we have the string, we are basically good to go. So now what we want to do here is that let's declare a few variables over here. Let's also declare this variable over here. So that's going to be private string, that's going to be post underscore key, and let's say initially that is going to be equal to null. So we'll type in null over here, and that should be string, and let's delete it from here. Okay, so once everything is set up, the next thing which we do is that we get a reference to the database, and then we get a reference to the two text views and the image view as well. So first let's go ahead and get a reference to the database itself. So that's going to be private, let's say, database reference, and let's name this thing as m database. And let's go ahead and get a reference to the image view. So that's going to be private image view, and that is going to be named as, let's say, single post image, and private, that is going to be text view, and it's going to be named as single post, let's say, title, and private text view single post description. So once we have these things declared, let's go ahead and get reference to the database and these three things right over here. So let's first get a reference to the database. So that's going to be m database equals firebase database dot, and that's going to be get instance dot get reference dot child, and we basically want a reference to this insta app over here. So make sure you type in insta app, so we have a reference to that particular thing, which is nothing but the post over here. So once we have a reference to a post, we are good to go. So now after that, we usually get a reference to these three things as well. So that is going to be quite simple. So that is going to be post description equals that is going to be text view, find view by ID dot ID dot, that is going to be single description. Then we will have single title, that is going to be text view, find view by ID dot ID dot single title, and finally for the image, that is going to be single post image equals text view, not telecom service, that should be text view, find view by ID dot ID dot, that is going to be single image view. and for the image, that is going to be single post image equals typecast it to image view, find view by id r.id dot single image view. So once this thing is done, what we want to do now is that we want to extract the values from the post. So we already have a reference to the database, so let's go ahead and extract values from the database. So that's going to be mdatabase.child, and we are looking for a child with the post key dot add value event listener. That's going to be new value event listener, and in the on data change method, what we wish to do is that we wish to get all the values, that is the title, description, image, and the user ID. So what we will do here is that we will retrieve the values one by one. So that's going to be string, let's say post title, that is going to be equal to typecast it to string. And after this, let's type in data snapshot dot child, and we are looking for a child who is having a title, then get the value from here. So what I'm going to do here is that in order to save time, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pause the video, type in the code for you, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you could see, I have typed in the values over here. So I have essentially retrieved the title, description, image, and the user ID. And one thing which you need to make sure is that if you open up Firebase over here, you need to make sure that these values, that is the DESC, image, title, UID, and username, they actually should match up. So if I again go back over here, as you could see, my image is in small letters over here. So I'm going to go ahead and change this with image. So once this thing is done, I guess everything should be fine. So now what you need to do is that once you have these values, you need to set up these values for these elements right over here. So first, let's go ahead and set up the title, single post title dot set text, and that is going to be equal to post title, and that is title. So I missed a L over here. So single post title, and the next thing which we do is that we also set up a description. So that is going to be single post description dot set text, that is going to be post description. And finally, in order to set the image, we want to use Picasso, as we have previously done in the recycler view. So Picasso dot width, and here you need to pass in the name of your activity, which is single insta activity dot this. And now you need to load up the actual image, which is going to be post image. And now you need to specify into what you want to load this image. So we want to load it into the single post image. So we'll pass in single post image over here. So once this thing is done, we are good to go. So now let's go ahead and save the code and see how this thing performs. So as you could see, the application is up and running, and right now we only have one post. So let me just click on this post, and we are redirected to a new activity, and here still we don't have any image over here. And I guess that's mainly due to the fact that our images are actually having quite a bit of higher size, because if you actually have a look over here, the image actually is of quite a larger size, and it would be extremely difficult for our app to load up this image right over here. But hopefully it should work. And if it doesn't, then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to run this application again, and this time I am going to install a new image, and this time I am going to use an image which is going to be of a lesser size. So for now, I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to add in a new image or a new post over here and see how this app actually performs. So as you could see, this is also throwing the out of memory exception over here, and it says fail to allocate certain amount of memory over here. So I'm going to stop this video, and I'm going to record my screen again once I upload another image. So as you could see, I am running this application again, but unfortunately right now I don't have any image which is of a lesser size. So this thing appears quite nicely, but when I click on this, as you could see, we have the name and the description, which means we have successfully completed everything. But if you look over here, it again says fail to allocate this much amount of memory, and that is because we are using an image of a much larger size. So unfortunately at this time while recording this video, I don't have any image which is of a lesser size which I could show it over here. But if you actually upload your own image which is having a lesser size, then this code is going to work absolutely fine. If it doesn't, then you simply hit me up with a message or post in the Q&A section, and I'll be there to happily help you out. So that's it for this lecture, and I hope you guys were able to understand how to retrieve the data of a particular post from a recycler view to a new activity. So what is going to happen is that if you go ahead and add a new post here, and if you click on this post, it's actually going to redirect you to that particular post detailed description. So that's it for this lecture, and in the next lecture what we will do is that we will learn how to delete a particular post from the application. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.